Welcome to our Brothers in Conversation podcast powered by Jesse and Shondell. Shondell, you are from?
Bed-Stuy, do-or-die, Brooklyn. That little town.
That's a little town. That's nothing like Hawthorne, Nevada. Population 5,000 cats and dogs. Welcome to our Brothers in Conversations podcast powered by Jesse Farrell and Shondell Newsom. Today's program is going to be awesome. Do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? Do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? This is March 4th, 2021, episode number 42. This is going to be wonderful, and Shondell may join us, or he may not, but the program has already started, and we're into this. I'm looking forward to this because so many people struggle with success, and I think Lisa wants to say something to me.
He said he's in. Do you need to let him in?
Okay, so let's see. Lisa's giving me some new information.
What's up, sir?
Okay, Shondell, good to see you, sir. We are actually live already. I've already launched it. I've already done the announcement.
Oh, good. I'm good with it.
So we are good to go. So let me just, as a repeat follow-up for you, to team up with the audience, this is going to be a half-hour power. We're going to knock it out of the park. And this is a good one. Lisa, again, came through for us. The subject and title for today is, do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? Do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? What are your thoughts about that, Shondell?
Since I'm an animal.
Okay. Since you are an animal, fair enough.
I am an animal.
Okay.
I say this. I think to some extent you need all the characteristics of an animal. So, because sometimes people think being an animal means you have to be very aggressive.
Right.
There's sometimes when, you have to be aggressive and you have to be, and then there's other times when you have to be careful and then you have to be cautious and you have to be protective. There's so many different ways, but in the context of what we're talking about, yes, you do. I believe that you have to use the instincts of an animal,
right,
in order to be successful in business and life. You have to utilize what your strengths happen to be. If you're a lion, or if you're a cheetah, the cheetah has to use their strength of being quick. If you're an elephant, you have to use your strength of being big. If you're a giraffe, you have to use your strength of being tall and can see over the trees. So it's all about you utilizing your animalistic, if that's a word. I just made it up. So what? Who cares? They made up Google. I think that you have to utilize whatever strengths you have to win in life and in business.
I agree. And also, when you say you have to use whatever strengths you have, a lot of people don't know what their strengths are.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't realize that is important to tap into that. And a lot of people are oftentimes succumbed by the challenges of life, the difficulties, the setbacks. And there are a number. I don't care who you are or how you are, you're always going to be solving problems.
Yes. So let me throw something out there, Jess, because this week you and I and Arlene and Lise had lunch, and Arlene did our color coding, right? And I know with that, and you could talk about the color code, but I'm just going to throw out kind of the layman's part of it.
Okay.
The color code allows us to have a real assessment of who we are and what our capabilities are, our strong capabilities,
right?
How we react to other people, what are our true strengths and weaknesses. And it allows us to work on those weaknesses if we have to, but it also allows us to capitalize on those strengths. So kudos to you and Lisa for bringing that to the family and bringing that to help us grow individually as well as professionally.
Right, and that can be a real difference maker in a relationship, don't you think? Tell me how that can be a difference maker, the fact that Arlene's taken that assessment.
Well, Arlene and I used to teach marriage classes at our church. And we said, it's not that everybody comes into a marriage just straight up matched up and compatible, right? But you start to learn more about each other, and once you know more about each other, you know how to deal with each other. And I think we talked about that during our lunch, right? It's like, if you know more, you can do a lot better based on the information you receive, just like the house rules that you guys always talk about.
That's right. That's right. And people come into this world with things to resolve, things to work on, things to elevate. And I did not know that Arlene had taken the assessment, so that's good to know. Do you remember what her colors are?
No, I don't know if she finished. I know you sent it over to her, but I don't know if she either completed and sent it over or she was working on it. But she
Okay.
was telling me that she had it.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. So that's going to be a big booster for you too. But when we think about, if we just start to speak to some people that a lot of people know that they see are very, very successful, and again, the topic of this is a very unique topic that Lisa came up with. Do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? And you talked about some of the different strengths of the different animals, the tigers, the giraffes, and so forth that you mentioned earlier. And what about those people that don't appear to have it? Like, think about a Rudy Rudiger
Mm.
and wanting to play for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He was shorter. He was a little guy compared to all the
Yep.
big guys.
Yep.
But what did Rudy Rudiger have to do in order to make it on that team?
So let me tell you that you ever seen was it The Replacements? You remember that movie, The Replacements?
I don't think I've seen that. Tell me.
So it was a football movie, and Gene Hackman was the coach. And somebody asked him at halftime, "What does I think it was Keanu Reeves? How you say his name? Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves. So Keanu Reeves was the quarterback, and he said, "What is he missing?" He said he has all the talent. He needs heart.
Wow.
Rudy has heart.
Oh, big time.
Rudy, based on his heart and his passion at Notre Dame,
Yeah.
made everyone else believe in his ability.
Wow, for sure. And that was his secret sauce to stay convicted, to be able, in a world that may not look like he could even make the team, let alone get to play.
Yeah. And let me tell you, somebody who is even more of a celebrity than Rudy is Jesse Farrell, right? And I remember a story that you told about being a basketball player and playing on a basketball team, how talented your brother was, that had natural gifts.
Yeah.
And you worked like a dog and you had that heart. So what happens is other people want to run with a dog. They don't typically want to run with a prima donna unless that prima donna is a prima donna and a dog. So a Michael Jordan and even a LeBron James, they say they have animal killer instincts.
Yes.
So that's why they're perennial champions, because they combine both. They're talented, but they bring a vicious, animalistic characteristic to playing sports where they're going to win. Even Derek Jeter, they said Derek Jeter was one of those guys who didn't seem tough and mean and all that, but he was an assassin. When it came down to the championships, he wanted to win, like at all costs. So, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. And I was going to ask you about yourself, but I'm going to take off from where you're at. I wasn't going to, I was there.
See how I put you in there with Jordan, LeBron, Jeter? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised. I was going to talk about Muggsy Bogues and President Lincoln and Kamala Harris and Jim Brown and Tiger Woods. You skipped all that. You just jumped right in there. So no, but and so with that being said, Shondell, do you believe that this animal instinct is innate or learned or both or either?
Wow.
Yes.
I think there's a combination of both.
Yes.
I think because if you get fed up enough, and I'll use my wife as an example.
Okay.
I think she was there like, okay, I'm motherly instincts. I'm nice. I'm being nurturing. But then at some point she said, oh, wait, I'm in this environment. I got to change my strategy. So I think you have the ability to learn that behavior.
Well, I agree. I think it can be innate, but I think it also can be learned. I just learned I was reminded of a short story that is actually shocking when you talk about animalistic instincts. I'll give you two. One I knew for sure, but the second one was something I didn't recall. I was actually born in my grandmother's bed in Mississippi. I was not born in a hospital, and I had my navel cord wrapped around my neck, so I was choking to death coming out of the womb.
Wow.
So you better have an animalistic instinct for survival just to do that, as a newborn, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
so
you have to get through that. Yeah.
so that could be some innate skills that get you to muscle through that. And then I just recently learned from my favorite Aunt Helen, who's in Seattle, Washington right now, that as a little boy there was something wrong with my legs. So the doctor recommended that my parents break both of my legs at the age of 1,
Hmm.
and I wore a cast for 6 months from chest all the way down, and then after 6 months from the waist all the way down as a 1-year-old boy with 2 broken legs, so that my
Yes.
so that my legs would be straight. So
Wow.
imagine that young overcoming that. You better have an animalistic drive to want to overcome that when all other 1-year-olds are starting to walk. You're
Yeah.
crawling. You're crawling with a full body cast.
Wow. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. I would have never known that.
I did recall it. So
Yeah.
you talk about an animalistic instinct, and you think about
Yeah.
that. So what does that take? You take someone like a Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
to overcome stuttering, he got into acting to overcome stuttering.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I heard that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That was brilliant. I mean, a lot of people find other ways to overcome some of their physical challenges. That's
absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely. And so when you think of situations and people like that, you gotta wonder, like, how do people do it? How do they get through that? I mean, there's so many of us that let our life's challenges saddle us and sink us. Do you not agree with that too?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, sometimes we allow people to rent space in our minds or take over different parts of us. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's some highly inspirational, successful women that have overcome some very difficult challenges. What about J.K. Rowling and what she overcame? She was homeless back in the day,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And Lucille
I mean,
Ball had challenges.
who?
Lucille Ball had challenges she had to
That's
overcome,
right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
And became one of the most incredible comedian on air TV personalities of all time.
yeah, and check this one out. Charlize Theron, she saw her mother shoot and kill her father.
Wow. Wow.
Very abusive childhood coming up. Father was very, very abusive.
Wow.
And look how amazing she is on the screen today. You would never know
Yeah.
that she had to battle those sort of things. She probably had she probably had to have an animalistic instinct to overcome
Yeah.
all that. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I do believe in that. And I was watching a documentary about Archie Manning.
Okay.
For those that don't know, Archie Manning is the father of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, right?
Okay.
Both played in the NFL. Hall of Fame, definitely for Peyton, right? Eli should make the Hall of Fame. He won a couple of Super Bowls, but he came home after, I believe it was after college, and his father committed suicide.
Mm,
And what people don't know is Archie attributes his fatherhood and his commitment to his sons. And he has a third son too. He got injured in college. He was going to be a wide receiver, but he committed all of his energy into his son's dreams. He said he didn't want them to become quarterbacks. Honestly, he didn't, because he took a beating when he played for the Saints, right, back in the day. And
hmm
Archie's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Think about that, Jess. He When he got out of college, he went on to become a Hall of Fame football player,
right.
and his two sons are destined for the Hall of Fame as
Pretty
well.
amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing that they even made it in the league, one, let alone two, and in the same footsteps of the father. That's pretty miraculous. You think
That
about
is
it.
miraculous.
That's
I
an
don't think
animalistic
people.
instinct
Yes,
within
sir.
those kids, and they have different personalities. They're not the same personalities.
Totally different. Totally
Yeah.
different.
So
Yeah.
that's a real powerful example. And let's
Yeah.
let's share, Shondell. Let's talk about what would it take for people to start to develop that animalistic instinct? Because I don't think it's ever too late. I think you can
Oh,
start to develop that at any time.
I don't think so.
So let's talk. So ultimately, we're talking about living a successful life. Would you not agree to
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So success is that, to me, has to be on you. So know what success means to you, not what success means to other people that have come before you or after you, or celebrities or famous people, or not, no, or politicians. what does, number one, determine what success means for you.
So success to me means that you have a purpose that benefits you and others in life. And it's not just monetarily.
Right.
It is how you help other people to rise above their normal means and go from ordinary to extraordinary.
Right. And that's excellent. I like that, Shondell. Others may have there may be various different iterations of what is success to you. So I love what you said about success. That is a great measure of success.
Yeah.
Other people need to know that are listening to this, you determine what success means for you. It's not the same for everybody. It's a rainbow coalition kind of game going on here.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in order to create an animalistic instinct, you've got to want something. So you want to determine what are your wants and needs that are going to help you satisfy that success paradigm. You agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. And I'm gonna tell you, I had a great conversation with my mom yesterday in New York. I mean, she lives in New York. And my mom, I thanked her. I was thanking her because my success is attributed to, I think, I'm talking to parents now.
Okay.
When you're talking about giving your child a head start on a lot of these things that we're talking about, the learned behaviors, start them off early. Like my mom was very, very careful with my education piece. And I remember she put me in a middle school, or some people call it junior high school, called Philippa Schuyler School for the Gifted and Talented. And this school, you had to interview and you had to get in. But my point is, she recognized early on that I was a special child, and she wanted me to not be in a situation in the traditional high school,
right,
where I would not be around people that helped me grow.
Nice.
And where am I today, Jess? That's where I'm at. I'm around people like you and people like the chamber and people in different walks of life who I'm comfortable there.
Right. So she actually got you started off on a phenomenal start by that exposure. And you've heard me say it before. I'm just going to say it again because it tags right on what you're saying. You will be the same person you are today 10 years from now, except for the books that you read, the people that you meet, and what you do about your own life circumstances. Those three things. You don't manage those three things, you live in the same life. Yeah. You are not living the same life. Every day your life is different, Shondell. Every week, every month, every year. You're not the same Shondell today that you were last year on purpose.
Exactly. On purpose. Exactly.
Exactly. So that's huge. So that's good for people to hear that. And so know what success means to you. Determine that, like Shondell just did, and determine what your wants and needs are before you start setting goals. You can set obsessive goals and be focused on your goals, but if you don't know what your wants and needs are, why are you setting goals? Know what you want and need first. You agree?
Oh, I totally agree, because I think that's a common mistake. I think people set goals and those goals are not achievable because you don't know what your needs or wants are, right?
Right.
So you're basically like a cat chasing its tail.
Exactly. So with that being said, thinking about a cat chasing his tail, then you want to take care of your mind and body. Take care of your mind and body.
You give me goosebumps.
Because isn't that the vessel?
Yes.
That's the temple.
It is definitely the temple. And, there are a lot of statistics that talks about how people's health and mindset relates to their success, right? Because you have to be a healthy person and your mind has to be clear and free to be innovative and to change how things are. So I set myself up every morning with a time, Shondell's time. Shondell's time wants him. I want to go out, look at the sun, and or one morning I looked at the moon at 5 a.m.
Okay.
But I think you have to set yourself up for success every day. You have to do whatever you do, whether you chant, yoga, whatever you do in the morning, you have to do that. But then you have to really understand your needs and wants clearly.
Well said.
And be excited about it, right? Be excited about it, because so many people are so drab and Debbie Downers and I'm not going to achieve this. If you say you can't do it, you're definitely not going to do it.
Right. Well said. And I like also what you just introduced too. You just introduced another piece to that, which is building powerful habits. You're building powerful habits by setting up, by telling yourself the night before you're going to get up in the morning and what that morning is going to look like, whether it's a workout or a walk or a meditation or whatever that is. Build powerful, consistent habits, right? And that's what you're speaking to. So I agree with that. And another thing you actually said too, which I agree with, is you use different words, but learn to manage yourself.
Yes.
In order to get that success bar raised, you got to learn to manage yourself. What are there some bad habits you might need to get rid of? Are there some folks you need to talk to tell the truth about how you might be showing up and you're not aware of it?
Yeah.
You know, so I think those are big pieces. Those are keys when we're talking about an animalistic attitude. These are components beneath that sets that up. You agree?
Oh, absolutely. You know, one thing we've done over the last month and a half is every morning Arlene makes a smoothie, and that became a habit. So now she wakes up immediately and says, I gotta go make my smoothie.
Right.
So when you say develop habits, I've told my kids many years, and they can quote it. Tiara will quote it to you today if you ask her, what did your dad tell you about habits? The habits you form are the habits you keep.
Well, I love that, and whether they're good or bad.
Yes,
and
whether they're good or bad.
We mentioned it. We mentioned this on our last program. You got the goosebumps on that one because when you said that, I said from Brian Tracy, good habits are hard to form and easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form and hard to live with.
Exactly.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
And so what do we have to do when we know that we have a number of bad habits? What do we need to do? Well, how do you correct that, Shondell?
You have to train your mind and practice. You have to practice, right? I bet you that Bruce Willis started to practice a lot. Practice his lines, practice his emotions, but you have to train your mind to do something new. Oh, I did it. Something new. You have to train your mind, and you have to keep consistently training it over and over until it becomes a habit.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor, Shondell. Duck down as low as you can, all the way down. No, all the way down, all the way down. More. Okay. Do me a favor. Stand up. Step away. Step away.
Stand up. Step away. Let's do it this way. What if I did? Nope, that won't work.
Oh, that won't work. Okay. Some new. It came up. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, so he's got the S on his left side. The NU. There he goes. That's the sum. There you go. Switch the other side. That's the new. So that's Shondell. And again, people, you've heard us say it before. Lisa and I can never say the word something new again. Whoever says we need to try something new, the other one says some new every time. Every time we're stuck.
That's a habit.
Yeah. That's a good habit because when we do that, it's a testimony back to you and your father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So that's really good. But so you talk about training your mind. That goes with building powerful habits. That comes with learning to manage yourself. And the other thing is you've got to get out of your comfort zone, Shondell.
Yes, you do.
If you do not, nothing will change.
Tough.
Yes, it's very difficult.
My wife does a great job with especially the young people in our office, and she says, in order for you to do better financially, you have to develop habits of financial success. So you have to, you may want to go spend money right there, but if you don't have it, you have to, wait until you save up and get it done. That's an old school method that a lot of people, because of credit and everything else, people don't want to do that. But she said it actually works better for you. And they've testified that was the most amazing thing that she taught them.
Wow, that's big. That's really good. And you talk about making money. I like that. That's good. A lot of people, would you ask a lot of people, Shondell, when they're in business, what they're seeking to do? Most of them will say making money.
Yes.
Most people will say that. Yes. If you're in business to make money, you're going to fail.
You're going to fail.
I'm not saying don't make money, but if that's what you're in business for, is to make money, you're likely going to fail. You want to focus on solving problems, not making money. How are you serving others?
Thank you. I tell you, it's funny because it was a guy in my class when I was teaching Next Level for Entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And he told me, Shondell, you are absolutely wrong.
Yep.
And you don't know what you're talking about. You're teaching this class wrong. And I'm going after money.
Right.
I said, okay, when I'm driving through McDonald's and I see you and you ask me what do I want? Do I want fries with this? We'll know that you had the wrong strategy, right?
There's nothing wrong with that, because that could be a leg up working at McDonald's, but you don't want to stay there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're sitting in the
management. His goal was to become a millionaire. So I say this to people. The best thing what I've heard and read about most billionaires and multimillionaires is they didn't chase money, they solved problems.
That's so powerful. And see, that to me is where it's at. Lisa and I used to say that we were in business to inspire and empower others to live their highest vision.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But now, because of the changing times, we now say that the best thing that we do in our business to serve others is helping them relieve them of their concerns.
I love it.
Simple.
I think that's smart. Yeah,
Simple.
I think that's real smart. I was looking for this quote with Warren Buffett. Impatient people are attracted to money, while money is attracted to patient people.
Wow.
The Warren Buffett.
Wow. And that's a highly successful multi-billionaire who gives away billions of dollars annually.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah. So we come back to the topic here. The topic is, do you need to adopt an animal mindset to succeed in life? We both say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So as we go to close here, we got just about 2 minutes. What do you have for those listening to this program that may be struggling with the concept of adopting an animal mindset?
Well, I think it goes to this. It goes to self-actualization.
Okay.
Which is what we talked about with the color code. You got to know who you are and you got to know your strengths and weaknesses, right? So self-actualization, honesty. Got to be honest with yourself.
Nice.
Right?
Yes.
And then make the necessary changes. Like you said, read books, whatever your faith is, study hard, become true to your faith, no matter what it is, right? Become true to your faith and become true to yourself and develop great habits.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. I applaud that, and that summed it all up. Those listening to this program right now, please be willing to share this program, share this with others. If you have not jumped on our board to make sure that you are liking us and that you are plugged into the podcast, make sure you do that. And I think this will be good. That's a good message to leave with. This
5 minutes went by quick. Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking only for 5 minutes and you said 2 minutes left. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, that's how it rolls when you've got a roll going. That's what happens when you're creating a flow. That's a little Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi says, when you establish a flow, it's when there's a rhythm in that conversation that it transcends time. Time just goes.
Oh, man, look at that. The rhythm. To the beat and the rhythm of the night.
So very good, Shondell. It was a pleasure connecting with you as always. Thank you very much. And I hope those folks out there watching or listening to this can continue to find value in messages like this. And thank Lisa for coming up with our subject and our topic and doing the research on that for today. And you go out there, make it a great day on your end, Shondell, and go out there and shift and change lives, sir.
That's right. Be an animal.